The modern human is at least 200,000 years old, 10,000 generations of knowledge and memories. Ancient Egypt seems pretty recent in this view. The last millennium just a tiny speck, and your whole life is basically invisible in comparison. So here's an experiment. Every second, 2 generations or 50 years will pass. You're on a musical train ride, looking out the window as you watch our ancestors hunt large animals, tell stories around campfires, and slowly spread around the globe. Experience all of human history in 1 hour. You can have this in the background, study with it, or just enjoy the ride. From
Hell
time to
yeah.
time,
Or
I'll
play
say a few
video
words.
games.
But before we start, something very important to us. Cuts to foreign aid this year have raised real concerns about people's well-being in some of the world's poorest communities. It can be hard to know what's actually happening or how to help. GiveWell doesn't claim to have all the answers, but its team of independent non-profit researchers are analysing the impact of foreign aid funding cuts in real time, identifying highly cost-effective ways to save and improve lives, and sharing what they're learning for free so that everyone can have a big impact. Thanks to GiveWell for making videos like this possible. The Earth is in the middle of one of its many ice ages. Glacial sheets are rampant and deserts expand. But sheltered from all this is East Africa, which remains temperate and comfortable. It's not clear when our species arrived. The earliest skeletal remains suggest the first Homo sapiens stepped foot into the world at least 200,000 years ago, perhaps even 300,000 years ago. All humans descend directly through their mothers from a woman who lived at this time, based on DNA in our cells' mitochondria. We were already great hunters, building spears and fire, huddling under animal skins.
Alright, I just realized I have firebombs.
That share joy and death. With maps or shoes, we regularly travelled long distances, people carried obsidian hundreds of miles to turn into cutting tools.
Obsidian? If I remember correctly, there should be some fireless alphas here. There's a Lionel in the way, which I may as well murder. I already got rid of it, huh? Alright then. Y'all are not worth it until I get the roots. Bullshit.
Humans were not alone. They lived side by side with multiple other hominins, some millions of years older than us. Cousins or ancestors. It's unclear. Our natural desire to wander takes us all around the continent, from the Mediterranean coast down to the tip of South Africa. Before we continue our journey towards North Africa, we want to say
Man,
thank you.
this is really
Because
worth
with
it.
your support, we can make crazy videos like this one. A special thank you to all the burbs who got our 12,026 human hair in Canada. We created the first one a day ago to reframe time itself. 2,000 years puts all of human history. This year's edition is better than ever. 4 Bible Society illustrations tell the story of humanity's special connection with the stars. It's a year's worth of art for your home. Plan your days or record your adventures in 12,026
Alright, dude?
products designed with love. They're not selling out in just one day. It features 10 years of artwork and unseen behind-the-scenes facts and stories. Thank you so much for supporting human-made art. One major obstacle slowed down our progression: the deserts. With no water to drink, nor animals to hunt, we didn't know how to cross these difficult regions. Not everyone fitted the same mold, just like people today. The majority of Homo sapiens stayed in Africa, but a few intrepid souls were leaving the continent by 180,000 years ago, which we know about because they met Neanderthals and interbred, leaving genetic traces and a fossil record. We think that in arid regions, humans would congregate around oases. By stringing together short trips between oases, our ancestors might have been able to occasionally cross impossible deserts. Hair lice are delicate parasites that evolved specifically to live under the protection of our hair. So when they split off into body lice, we get the earliest evidence that we started to wear clothes on our bodies. Human expansion was not some sort of linear journey. There was no general planning, and it was just as likely to go forwards as to retrace its steps. If we didn't have the means to go somewhere, then we'd never visit, even if it was right next to our birthplace. The island of Madagascar, separated from Africa by sea, remained untouched until 2,000 years ago for this reason. One of our greatest strengths is our adaptability. Where other species would perish or retreat when the climate changed, we would instead find new ways of living. Like when we moved into the African coast to escape worms to or find shelter. To see technological progress this far back. Yes, it was huge progress for this time.
Damn.
Down the beach looking for shellfish, our ancestors shells. They have an eye for beauty, just like us. Remains of burnt snail shells from 170,000 years ago suggest we caught giant gastropods and turned them into roasted snacks. One ancestor's trash is a paleoarchaeologist's treasure. 164,000-year-old leftovers containing shellfish reveal that humans learned to exploit marine resources back then. likely descended from fewer apes, and we still found trees quite neat millions of years later. Forests gave us plenty of food and could hide us from predators, so we kept returning to them whenever we could. Sharp sticks and hiding spots, our species remained a target for fearsome predators. Birds, hyenas, lions, and larger than anything we see today challenged our status as top hunters. Real paleo diet. Roasting seeds, crossed tubers, and a lot of meat. Nothing could be preserved for later, so if you came across tasty fruit, you could eat it on the spot or lose it. Thankfully, we could reach the roughly 3,000 calories needed per day.
You're immune to being insta-killed.
It is my pleasure.
You know, we're running.
Our ancestors had a hunter-gatherer lifestyle that's difficult to imagine today. They only really had to work for about 20 hours a week, with the rest spent socializing, playing, and perhaps painting. Sounds fun, except you never knew when your next meal was coming, or if tomorrow's hunt would be your last.
You long enough to notice me?
Vast distances. Reliable source of water, and they attracted animals to prey on them. There's also a lot we don't know. Whole branches of hominins lost to time, like 140,000-year-old Homo longi, that was only recently discovered from a Chinese skull and may rewrite our history. Now, we've really lengthened our stride. An unusually long and wet period called the Abbasia Pluvial transformed deserts into swamps and rivers across Africa, helping more humans move across the continent.
Makes enough sense.
Our expansion takes us across the Mediterranean Sea to the island of Crete. How did we get there 130,000 years ago? Did we swim or build rafts? We only find watercraft dated to tens of thousands of years later, yet skeletal remains on the island may meanwhile found a way. Just like artists today, we've always wanted to express ourselves. The oldest evidence for Homo sapiens painting dates back to 125,000-year-old red ochre made from pigment and clay found in South Africa. Our surroundings and our bodies much earlier than that. Sadly, we've lost these earliest works of art to time. We also find shells perforated so that they can be strung together at this time to serve as decorations or jewellery. Ancient flame. years ago, the whole of Arabian Peninsula was covered in green grass and wetlands at this time, making it an ideal environment for our hunter-gatherer ancestors. The oldest abstract symbols are 120,000-year-old bookmark. They're definitely calculated and intentional, but what do they mean?
Nice.
So much is lost from that. Homo erectus, our longest living cousin, goes extinct around this time, and with them goes their culture and 1.7 million years of history. Global climate shifts once again, accelerating human expansion out of Africa from a trickle to a wave. And as ocean levels were so much lower, land bridges existed that led them along surprising paths between continents. However, our expansion isn't some coordinated push in one direction, but random movements that are just as likely to leave as return to Africa with multiple overlapping migrations.
Urbosa's fury is ready. Rivali's gale is not... ready.
Sapiens had to leave Africa to the European peninsula in modern-day Turkey and Iran. Vast, mountainous areas starch to our diet and our animal material. Ancestors tried to preserve their knowledge and remember their past. The oldest Homo sapien burial site is 100,000 years old, containing skeletons and numerous burial goods. Meanwhile, we start to reveal our complex inner worlds by painting more than we see with our own eyes. Instead of simple representations of nature, we find the first symbolic paintings. Complex behavior required equally capable communication. We very likely had languages we could use to chat with other human groups. In fact, Neanderthals had this capability too, so might we have tried to chat
Wait,
each
what?
other up when we met? This capacity for culture
Shit,
and thought
I thought it
is
was the
ingrained in our
pants they
genes.
gave.
We can analyze DNA
Oh
to
my
determine what gives us our personality,
god.
and it's clear that creative self-awareness is a special feature we have that other hominins lacked. The oldest piece of string is 90,000 years old, and it belonged to Neanderthals. Could we have asked to trade for it?
Well, this is quite upsetting.
Mifa's grace is ready.
Yeah. Ah.
Honestly, probably should have gone for the head. I'm not farming for Amber, let's just do this. Well, defense is pretty decent.
No. Oh.
Wow, I'm very good. That didn't work. Hey, nice. Would've been nice to get the bikini first. The bikini top. Duh. Another snow boots.
Oh man, oh I gonna do?
What?
Monsters!
Everybody.
They're here!
The Wednesday stream, the fabled Wednesday stream.
Gamers, gals, non-binary pals, it's your boy Steve, back again with legendary reactions that we all love fairly far now. We're gonna be stealing a little bit from Farfa, and it's talking about Genesis. I love Genesis, like in theory. I think Genesis is pretty fun. I think Genesis is pretty cool. However, there are obviously a lot of issues with it. I discussing it now and then. And Farfa's got one. Why Genesis is not for me. No, much. Like what's got to say.
I haven't enjoyed Genesis anywhere near as much as I thought I would. A very short form opinion. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but with a different card pool and extra steps. I was hoping the power level would land somewhere like that format. Actually, this has got a lot of attention and shall we say divisive comments, replies here on Twitter because why would you get anything reasonable on Twitter? But yeah, so this is my personal thoughts on Genesis. I have watched a lot of Genesis. I've posted videos online.
Hey, a Taurus mask.
Probably 100 videos of Genesis.
Commenting.
So
Top
I'm very
eyeball.
looks like at a rogue level, at top level. Well, I'm pretty into the format.
I mean, like Farfa's tournaments. When you look at Farfa's tournaments, they are like a very, very good idea of Genesis does look like, at least at like the top levels. Top levels, you are gonna see like you're gonna see some like combo spot or something like that. And then you're gonna see Odeon, version of Automat. Like, fuck is this way? I'm sorry. It's 4.
Okay.
Totem Bird, Toy, play, and like some like Draco Tail's like. Farfa is correct. That's where Genesis is for the most part just advanced, but at the same time, hardly an advanced time where that's why you get some body.
Now, toy Genesis. I always say comment Genesis. Well, I'm very familiar with the format. Looks like I don't know. Without spending forever talking about like the landscape Genesis. It's just modern. I can't make it really any simpler. Like, yes, Link monsters are such an integral part of the modern Yu-Gi-Oh game and the Yu-Gi-Oh's modern landscape, but there's a lot of modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks that don't need Link monsters. And so Genesis format has felt like a format that was supposed to be an alternative way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and really all it's kind of done is just been modern too. Yeah, I think naturally it is low power comparatively to the modern TCG, obviously because no Link monsters. But you're still dealing with kind of the same sort of core problems that advanced modern Yu-Gi-Oh has, which is turn lengths, very powerful onboard. That's kind of like the problem. And it's crazy.
I think the big issue with Genesis right now, in regards to the decks that exist in Genesis right now, is correct. In regards to the fact that Genesis is just if you banned every Link monster. The points don't really matter that much. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm going to get into it a bit later. But most decks, if your deck is fundamentally powerful enough, like on a baseline level, like let's take a look at like the Draco Tail list that I basically sculpted and like adjusted for my own personal experience. If your deck,
come y no, poi ci pronte medicina.
What? Oh no. Really? Damn. I guess that makes up for it. for the eyeballs, dude. Dude, why is it so hot here? Let me just see how many I need to collect first.
Ah. Mmm. Ah. Mmm. Ah. Ah. Mmm.
Yeah, we need 3.
Oh.
fucking hard. Oh yeah, there's a shrine here. If I remember correctly, in Tears of the Kingdom, there's a fucking Lionel here. What's up with these gigantic bones? How'd they drop guts?
Oh. Hmm. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Some of you will have seen the headline, New shape found that cannot pass through itself. Some of you have seen it because you've all emailed me. I mean, what a year to have declared the year of breaking mass news when this nopethedron was discovered. Everyone started emailing me. 2 people walked up to me in real life to tell me about it. One of them had printed out the paper to show me. So thank you, everyone, for alerting me to the breaking mass news. But I got some terrible news. This is not my notebook. This is my notebook. I say my notebook, not as in I discovered it. Tom 7 discovered this. My Nopet, just as in, this is the one I vote to be Nopet. I believe this Nopet. Top and bottom, I think it's pretty neat. Check it out. I added the colours myself just to make the faces more obvious. 20 versus 27 faces. This shape cannot go through itself. To expand on the word probably, and cannot go through itself, we need to go back to the cube, which I also 3D printed. It's like the greatest misuse of 3D print time ever. But you know, sometimes
Why is every
First up,
horrible
we're going to talk about what it
fucking
means to be a Nopet. Indeed, we're going to recap what
monster?
it means to be Nopet. And some of you will already know this. I wrote about this in a book back in 2014. The idea being Rupert has been around for a while. And the question was that Prince Rupert, centuries ago, wondered, could you fit a cube through itself? And so here, I've also 3D printed another copy of the cube, slightly more complicated this one.
That
And
sounds
it's
like a
exactly the
really
same
stupid
size. If I
question.
line them up, look at that, boom, exactly the same in every dimension. These are identical cubes, other than this one has a removable piece. Because we can fit this cube through a cube exactly the same size. If I remove that section, there's a cube-shaped hole. And so, while it seems counterintuitive, it is possible to fit a shape through itself, or at least that used to be counterintuitive. Turns out there's loads of room to fit a cube through a cube. So if I very carefully align this so you can look straight down, like the diagonal axis there, you're looking at the projection of a cube that is a hexagon. Kind of fun. And it turns out that hexagon is bigger than that square. In fact, you can fit a square 3.5% bigger by length through that hexagon. Oh, if you went off axis slightly, there's actually another projection that's ever so slightly bigger, and you can fit a cube that's 6% bigger by length through a smaller cube. So the root property is just, are there two projections of a polyhedron convex, such that one of them can fit entirely inside the other one? It turns out, yeah, this thing's not a sphere. If you move it around, the projection changes. Some of the projections are big.
I feel like RNG just gets worse the longer I play.
It's like big thing. So,
Eventually, I play long enough, and then this is just my life now.
A couple of years ago, 2021, I think, I did a video about this, where for Halloween, I put a pumpkin through a pumpkin. So I bought the two most identical pumpkins I could find in the shops, and then I cut a hole through one pumpkin that would fit the other
Seriously,
pumpkin.
look at that.
So pumpkins are Rupert, although not convex. Anyway, the point is, the story
Fucking
went from being,
Lionel.
oh, isn't it amazing that you can fit a cube through itself, that's stunning, and eventually kind of became, oh, it turns out quite easy to fit shapes through themselves. And now, it's gone full cycle, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, can you believe there are shapes that don't fit through themselves? So that's the world we live in. A decade after I wrote things to make into a fourth dimension, the fact is inverted. So after centuries of showing that shapes are Rupert, it was only this year that humans managed to prove that there is a convex polyhedron that is not Rupert, or Nopert. And I actually saw this one coming, because I was in New York to do an evening of necessary details last July, and I caught up with Tom Seven, and he'd already said the thing he was working on, and we talked about how he was trying to research shapes that were Nopert, and he found this one at that point, and he was working on a way to prove that definitely. Now, I'm not going to lie, this video, you don't need to watch this. You can go and watch Tom Seven's excellent video.
So this one is Nopert number 214, potential Nopert number 214.
The only issue is it's an hour and 18 minutes long. And I love Tom's videos. They're incredible. You should go watch that video. But I know a lot of people aren't going to watch that video. And so I thought I would make a Rupert video. Because my video is just going to go through Tom Seven's video. So I'll recap some of it and then you should really go watch them. But to explain the Nopert journey, Tom Seven first got a bit distracted when he saw an interesting sentence on Wikipedia.
I was reading about the dodecahedron, favorite platonic solid, maybe even my favorite solid, and The Wikipedia page, at least at the time, contained a puzzle.
On the platonic solid page, Tom had come across the statement that all 5 platonic solids have the Rupert property. And on the page for Archimedean solids, which arguably contains the platonic solids, it has the mysterious puzzling sentence that at least 10 of the Archimedean solids have the Rupert property. Why some? Which got Tom wondering, are there shapes that don't have the Rupert property? Got Tom wondering, are there shapes that don't have the Rupert property?
And I found a claim, a conjecture, that every convex solid has the Rupert property, which would be amazing. We can do this for 11 of the 13 platonic and Archimedean solids. But there's like 2 that we somehow didn't check.
It is weird that we have shapes of unknown Rupertness that are Archimedean solids, Catalan solids, like after platonic solids, with their regular faces and vertices, Archimedean solids, they're up there as well. They've got identical vertices, and every face is a regular polygon, but you can mix and match the polygons. Then you've got the Catalan solids, the duals, the Archimedean solids. They all have identical faces. These are blockbuster shapes, and yet there are 3 Archimedean solids and 2 Catalan solids for which you just don't know. And that seems strange. So Tom 7 put together a numerical solver to take a polyhedron and work out a Rupert solution for it. And for all the solutions that we already had, he found them in milliseconds, just was churning them out. And the ones that we couldn't find, he couldn't find, with billions of attempts, trillions of attempts, which means either the solutions are really obscure, or just, there aren't.
Sometimes this happens, there's a phase change between like two classes of problem. And so mathematically, you know this, it's not enough to have empirical evidence and say, well, solved. But it is suggestive, and it kind of taunts you because you kind of know. So, yes, that was part of the suspicion, is that it's very easy to solve them.
This is a shape that came out of Tom 7's code, because once he had a solver, he could then pair that up with a generator that's producing random polyhedra, and then see if he could produce or evolve a nopet. And he found loads of candidate
Right,
nopets.
importantly about the power of math is that
is candidate number
enemies are gonna immediately be aggressive towards us.
In that it's only
Most
got
enemies, at
20
least.
vertices and 27 faces. And that's the fewest of all candidate nopets out there. And I like it because it's got this cool kind of pentagonal rotational symmetry. I think it's a really cool shape. And Tom 7 tried literally trillions
That
of different
is
possible
incredibly
alignments of this shape with
convenient.
itself, and none of them went through. His solver could not find a solution to this. And the solver is very good. Now, that doesn't prove
Jesus
this
Christ.
is nopet, but it makes it exceedingly likely that it is. But in maths, we want a proof. One avenue Tom 7 explored to find a provably nopet polyhedron was to look at the family of prisms which go from manhole cover churros.
This really simple piece. So take an end on and extrude it. And if you extrude it a very shallow amount, then you get a manhole cover, as I call it. And we know that manhole covers that aren't going to fall themselves. It's proof by idiom. And then if you extrude it a lot, then you get a churro, as I call it, which is a long one, and you can stick that through its own side. And possibly there's a simple point at which they don't have solutions. And if that's the case, then this could be a really good route to prove two simple noteverts that no one ever thought.
Morning, every.
Trying to find wandering merchants. Can't help but feel like they might be my only way. Getting more smotherwing butterflies at this point. Oh damn. It's kind of ridiculous how much Hyrule rebounds reduces your defense. The defense buff is still there, but your base armor leaves a lot to be desired.
Lesa.
Some simple noteverts that no one ever thought to check.
Here are Tom Seven solutions for the 5 churro, and on the horizontal axis we have how long the churro is. Each of these lines is an integer. So this is a length of 1, or d of 1.
where D is the length of the sides of, in this case, the pentagon. As you can see, if the length goes up to 2, to 3, to 4, what you have here is the quality of the solutions. So sometimes the numerical solver is finding a very high quality solution. That means that the residue, what's left after the shape's gone through itself, has reasonably, for some definition of thick connectors. Down here, they're not as good, but still connected. And because it's a numerical solution, sometimes it finds one of these, sometimes it finds one of these, depends how it randomly orientates the two shapes, and occasionally they're a little bit better or worse. Overall, you can see two very clear trends. It often finds the drain hole cover solution here, particularly when the churro is very thin, the drain cover arrangement, and it sometimes still finds solutions like that when it's much, much longer, but once it does get long, it's way more likely to come in through the side. You can see here, these are the churro solutions and they take over, and Tom Seven's theory was maybe there's a gap in between, but no, they cross here, in this case exactly on, well, pretty much on one, and there's a seamless handover, so there's always a solution. And you may have noticed this extra spike here. That's a different class of solution that I don't think has been investigated yet. So if you want to go down another maths hole, you can start to look at this, and we can look at the other churros. If we go up one to a 6 churro, look at this. We got all these extra spikes. We've still got
Why
the
is it
drain hole
16
cover solution
butterfly?
here. We've still got the churro solution there.
Urbosa's
But now
fury
we
is
got,
ready.
I mean, in this
I'm
case,
sure they
3
knew what they
bonus
were
ones.
doing, right?
That's
They
way
knew
more
Beetle
pronounced
didn't
on an
sell
even
bugs
end churro.
anymore.
So when we got to 7, this is much closer to the 5. There's still a spike there, but now not as clear. And we got the classic handover. Oh, look, there are other small sub-spikes down here. We went back to 5 and see they're down there as well. Isn't that interesting? But all the even ones have a whole bunch of spikes. So 8, it's always half as many. So 8 has these 4 extra spikes here. The 9 looks like the classic odd case. And then 10, 5 spikes appearing here. So I'm imagining these are, when you've got the drain hole solution, these are some orientation effects that we're seeing. But again, I'm purely speculating. Look at what's going on down here. And as we go up, the more and more complicated churros approximating a cylinder, you can see these patterns continue to start to get, wow, so messy. As well as prism churros, Tom Seven also looked at anti-churros. These are like a prism, but instead of rectangles on the side, you use triangles. And check out the 5 anti-churros. Look at all of this! There's so many more complex solutions happening down there. Is this still the drain cover solution? We don't know what's going on here. There's still, things crossing at about 1 in this case. The even ones, now, look at it. Now, the fact that this is so covered means, because it's numerical, we're not getting exact coverage. I would say, in theory, this should be block covered, which means there's a continuous series of solutions for any given D up to some threshold, which is the top of this. Because the number of numerical solutions that Tom 7 ran means that we've got this kind of spotty coverage, but it should be a lot more thorough. But you can see there's another one here. We have these extra spikes appearing there. And look at these. 7, 8, 9. Ooh, there's a lot we don't know about how you intersect anti-churros. So if you want to look into this, go for it. But the point is, for all our original churros, there's always something going on. There's no point where it's going to hit 0. So, there's other interesting stuff going on. We're going to need a different method to try and find no
Everybody, welcome back to VG Mix, the online internet video game TV show, finally airing its season 3 finale, turned season 4 opener, turned random episode number with no special significance whatsoever. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's World of Light is a massive single-player campaign and infinite.
You know what would be really nice? Having the Sheikah sensor upgrade. I believe I need 16 amber, so 10 more to go. Let's just move on already, I suppose.
Hey! Hey! Ooh! Brr! Ooh!
You're going to need a different method to try and find a Nopet. So, when you go on this, okay, fine, excellent. I'm at the desk, because this video is brought to you by Bamboo Lab, the 3D printer we use to print all these fantastic objects to explain the Nopet property. Yes, I use my Bamboo Lab X1C printer, which is so quick and easy to use to print the cute you saw before. Of course, the root with the middle bit comes out, and because it can take multiple filament colors at once, I could print the Nopet in different colors for each of the faces. And if you're looking for inspiration on what to print, you can head over to Maker World with all these fantastic models. And of course, Tom7 has put up a full set of PAC models. You can open them up in Bamboo Studio. Oh, look at this. There are Platonic and Archimedean and Catalan solids, and you can print them all out. I mean, what home is complete without a full set of these wonderful shapes? Fun fact, as well as these, I did try to print out the churro example with a very long pentagonal prism. I added in these support structures because I knew the walls would be so thin, but I totally printed it too small, and so there's little tiny gaps there. But you kind of get the idea. Like that will line up there and slide through. And I had a lot of fun in Bamboo Studio arranging the negative one of these to get the correct hole and add that in, and it was a fun learning experience. Not quite good enough to be in the main part of the video. So do check out Bamboo Lab printers. Yeah, I'm going to balance these with a really annoying regular man. They are a trouble-free 3D printing experience. If you like this, you can too. Link in the description. Okay, back to what happened here. This is fragile. Back to the video. There are so many ways to arrange a shape in 3D space. I mean, uncountably, infinitely many ways. How can we search them all? How would we prove that something opened? Well, if you look at all the orientations of a shape, all we really care about are the 2D projection and the convex hull, like the collection of points and edges that are around the outside. And as I move this around, if I was to move it like a very, very small amount, the same edges from your point of view would always be on the outside. And if I do a big enough movement, one of the edges might pop behind, and so you can no longer see it. So you could classify every possible projection by unique sets of which vertices are on the convex hull in a specific order.
I was trying to visualize what it's like. And so what that textured snub cube thumbnail, what that is all of the different ways of looking at the snub cube. And a different way is basically like, what is the shape of its shadow homologically? Which points from snub cube are on the shadow and in what order? That convex hull. There's I forgot, 32 or so different ways of looking at the snub cube fundamentally.
And he coloured in a snub cube to show that. There are 36 different colours on this snub cube, and each one, if you're looking straight at it towards the very centre of the snub cube, that's the particular collection of vertices that are on the outside of the projection. And I just think it's an amazing visualisation, and that's a way to kind of tame and contain the collections of possible projections. What do we do with these 36 different classifications of types of arrangements for projections of snub cube? Tom Seven realized if you've got your kind of target outer snub cube, and then you've got the moving inner snub cube, you've now got 36 ways to bring everything together. Actually, there's still 7 different variables in each of those 1,296 combinations. You've got to check all of them so they're continuous. If you've got 7 different continuous variables and you want to search that entire space, you can think of it as a 7D cube. I mean, thinking about it that way is not helpful. If you want to divide it up, it is kind of helpful. What Tom Seven did was realize if you could take different chunks of 7D volume and within them cover the entirety of the 7D cube, you can show that the entire search space does not contain a solution, and each of those individual chunks just had to be able to show, instead of doing individual points within them, that that entire sub-volume wasn't possible. It's a very clever way to go about it, and if you want to explain much better than I just did, check out Tom Seven's video.
Single-player campaign, and those flagship crossover fighting series which take the crossover to the ultimate. With hundreds of collectible video game characters functioning as your equipment. Outposts, so of course, I have no choice but to take the sucking to the max. You can play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World of Light without spirits or skills. Keyword, complete. Beating the game's spirits list would be impressive, but 80% is nowhere near painful enough. This mission will be considered completed. To beat all 618 battles in the World of Light on hard mode without ever equipping a spirit or skill. There is also one extra rule. DLC fighters are allowed, with one specific exception. We're not allowed to use any of Hero's one-hit KO moves for obvious reasons. With the rules set, let's get this 100+ hour journey started. Battle number 1, Smoky Prawn. Without spirits, we're at a major disadvantage. All damage calculations are run through a math problem using our own spirit's power and our opponent's power. There is, however, one equipment option we have available to us, the currently selected player character. We start out with just Kirby, and every non-DLC fighter is located in a preset location somewhere on the map and will be recruited upon defeat. Keep in mind where every character is located and prioritize the character you're best with. Though I understand you might be terrified by the apparent requirement of being good at video games. Never fear, while being good at video games is a valid strategy, it's also a terrible, obsolete, and optional one. Say hello to the true dominant strategy, unpredictable cheese. Battle number 18, Gerald. Kirby is the starter character, and he just so happens to have one of the most broken move types in the game.
Hell yeah.
Final Cutter ends with a downward slash that carries any opponent's hit with it to the floor. If used in just the right positioning, Kirby will send his opponent hurtling below the stage, but save himself by catching the ledge. While Kirby is normally a spirit, this cheat allows you to obliterate her at her.
Unfortunately, as awesome as this looks, it's not the cheese to end all cheese. Battle number 10, the Aura. Kirby's cheese will only be reliably useful against characters with terrible recovery, for example, Lucina and Shulk. Here, we got extremely lucky with the cheese followed by a footstool, leaving both characters just barely incapable of recovering. Battle number 26, Valid. If a character has good recovery, the cheese might accidentally work after 100 retries, but I instead recommend getting creative. Or, more accurately, as uncreative as possible. Battle number 22, Lucario. Say hello to the Spiritsless Run's unofficial mascot. You'll probably have to beat him legit, but once you do, he'll be a reliable option for almost every spirit battle in the entire game. Lucario's unique character gimmick is called Aura, giving him a proportional power boost based on his current damage percentage. At 0% damage, he's one of the weakest members of the cast, but at the maximum 190%, he's 10 powerhouses duct taped together, rivaling the heaviest characters in the game while still retaining his relative agility. The worse you are at video games, the better a character Lucario becomes. In the hands of an absolute loser, he's capable of closing the spirit gap and letting us win a huge chunk of the early game battles
Let's see if this
before we get our
still
hands on
freezes
more
the
reliable
game.
cheese. Battle number 29, Boom. Unfortunately, some battles absolutely require cheese with absolutely no wiggle room. Boom has the benefit of Super Aura, meaning he won't be launched or stagger until high percentages. I attempted this a few dozen times until I eventually stumbled on the winning strategy totally by accident. Wait for Boom to plug his controller inputs and self-destruct. I really thought about the AI being bad, but let's be honest, the AI probably does this less than Battle number 34, Boa. This is the first legend battle we managed to beat, and by sheer luck, we somehow managed to beat the first try. Really makes the Kirby cheese much more difficult to unlock, but somehow the RNG gods graced us with a golden opportunity for the story. Battle number 35, with Belarus. When going for Kirby's cheese, you don't necessarily have to grab the ledge. The battle is officially won at the exact moment your opponent is defeated, no matter how few microseconds you have left on the score. Battle number 37, Grim. This battle served as a control strategy. After about half an hour of trying the cheese with Kirby, I tried experimenting with the lane using casual strats, and ended up winning in just a handful of attempts. Battle number 41, Giga Bowser. This is one of the easiest boss battles in the game, and not coincidentally, also the Unfortunately, even the easy bosses are a ridiculous endurance challenge. Since our power level is so low, our attacks only deal chip damage. Meanwhile, we die in 2 different hits. Luckily, Lucario is perfect for boss battles. He's agile enough to dodge most attacks, and luckily just so happens to have a long-range neutral special. The only attack difficult to dodge is Bowser's Fire Breath, which ever so luckily does not launch us, and thus charges up Aura for free. With full Aura, you'll be dealing pathetic damage instead of just insignificant, making this endurance challenge just slightly shorter. Battle number 42, Snorlax. The gimmick here is that Snorlax just stands in place doing literally nothing, but has tons of health and must be KO'd in a limited time. I actually attempted this one a while before Giga Bowser with a variety of cheeses, but Snorlax was too stubborn and always pushed its way back on stage. After beating Giga Bowser, we unlocked Vanilla Bowser, who has his own highly situational brand of cheese. His side beat grabs the opponent regardless of size and brings both of you hurtling to the ground. This move is automatically cancelled on contact with water, letting you repeat it over and over to drag Snorlax past the edge of the stage. Battle number 45, Esna. The extra distance gate from the grab makes Bowser's cheese exceptional at walk-off stages, usually completable in just a couple attempts. Battle number 47, Captain. Say hello to the absolute worst possible spirit attribute when you win. Your opponents are never affected by the wind, but you get blown around with a classic bad tornado factor. Even the speedy characters are only barely capable of fighting the wind in midair, and a small launch will send your character tumbling off screen while incapable of receiving input. My go-to pick here is Lucario. His recovery move is capable of moving in any direction, can fight the wind, and most importantly, gains distance proportionally with Aura. As soon as the battle begins, boost yourself to the right island. This island leaves you more room to survive if launched in either direction, since the wind will actually protect you if launched to the right. The wind is also incapable of pushing you off a ledge while facing away from it. Camp up here and try to deal as much damage to Captain as you can. He'll charge up your Aura pretty early, so even if you get launched left, you'll have a good enough chance of making the trip back. After an hour or so of attempts, I finally managed to bank high damage on Captain and show him what it really means to get flow. Battle number 59, Brittany. ledge.
Battle number 65, Rain.
Do it.
Battle number 116, Metal Gear Red. Not only is Red Giant made of metal, this is also a stamina battle, meaning they won't ever be launched any further as they take damage. Focus entirely on breaking the stage's outer wall. Then Bowser Chief's Ray past the edge of the screen. Battle number 117, Polar Bear. Once again, this is a stamina battle, this time on a battlefield stage. Polar Bear tends to approach very slowly, so I tried an endurance strategy using ranged attacks. Turns out this strategy was terrible, but that didn't matter. All luck, no skill. Battle number 135, Inkling. While not a game-breaking character, unlocking Inkling marks an important milestone in my own playthrough. Inkling is my second main in casual play, meaning whenever I want to pretend to be good at video games, I finally have a decent option. Battle number 136, Cabin Wild World. Clearly, Cabin is canonically the most powerful being in Animal Crossing lore because both spirit battles are ridiculously difficult. The Cabin Assist trophy spawns in constantly, and this is a standard method. After tons of experimentation, I eventually found the ultimate strategy. Play so lame, Captain gets bored of curb stomping you and styles off the nearest building. Battle number 145, Sigma. I have no idea what happened here, but if anybody asks, tell them I did it on purpose. Battle number 152, Bomb Man. With two opponents to take down who are constantly barraging us with high damage explosives, Bomb Man looks like it's gonna be a difficult battle. Unless you think a little bit harder about Bomb Man's particular strategy. Say hello to Bomb Man's weakness in the rock, paper, scissors weakness triangle himself. Like his fox, turn on his reflector, sit back, and drink a latte. Bomb Man is absolutely forced to spam bombs over and over no matter what we have to do. A reflector on any thrown bombs will bounce off and potentially deal damage back to sender. Battle number 154, Galleon. Like Gigamancer, Galleon is one of the easiest bosses in the World of Light. Every one of his attacks is slow with some big obvious tells, and half of them aren't even capable of hitting us if we sit back and spam projectiles. This will still be a lengthy endurance match, but as long as you never make any ridiculously stupid mistakes, you'll be 2/3 of the way to opening the path to Galleon. Battle number 159, Donkey Kong. This marks one of the most important milestones in the entire playthrough. If I'd known what I was doing, I would have been playing as DK 10 hours ago. But despite the bleeding of the strem chat, I refused to believe Donkey Kong's game design could possibly contain a single flaw. The exact moment I actually tried using him, however, I realized, as always, that my entire life up to this point had been wasted. Battle number 164, Muddy Bowl. Select Donkey Kong, tornado your opponent to a ledge, and that's it. You automatically win. Your opponent can't manually escape the tornado once caught inside, and if you edge guard with it, they'll constantly jump right back into you, effectively locking them in an infinite combo. Battle number 165, the Chorus Kids. DK Cheese is doubly useful on walk-off stages, especially one like this with multiple opponents. You can grab them in groups and carry them off in record time. And thanks to DK, I finally gathered up the courage to challenge one of the hardest spirit battles in the entire game. The one spirit battle that single-handedly had me shaking in fear at the very concept of a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate challenge run. Battle number 166, Buzz Buzz.
So you guys remember World of Light. You know everything we're doing here. But this is a different one. We're doing a Nuzlocke run, which is, if your Pokemon dies, it's out. It's dead. There's no Pokemon, so there's no reviving. If we lose a character to battle, that character is gone for the rest of the run. We're playing on hard mode, still using spirits, because I'm a bitch. Our goal is to beat the game. No side quests, we don't care about 100%ing, we're just trying to beat the game with as many characters as we can. And if I'm not wrong, I think we already have, the DLC characters. I was wrong. Okay, it's called the Nuzlocke. We're just gonna call it the Lightlock. That's the official name of this run from now on. Alright, so our Kirby's ready to go. We're gonna get the smoking frog. Oh, come on!
There's a slight issue with my video. Audio is perfect, it's great, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna maybe see if we can use for what? I'll explain at the end why I've had this problem. Stay tuned. Enjoy it. It's lagging. Is that my video not Right, which means another episode of Storage Wars. We haven't come up with a whole bunch of stuff like that in the last few weeks. Did we get some? This time round, we've got Danny. Hello.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hand crabs. I've never interacted at all. I have. Wait up! What you bring better content? I like it a lot. But there was one video that you posted that actually really like discussion about like playing low engine decks, and overall maybe thinking higher engine counts in the future, which was awesome. I love that kind of concept, and reflecting on how things didn't go well. So of course I took that opportunity and then now immediately make fun of the first time interacting. Really wait, well, it's fine, it's fine. Oh boy, throw both up. Martha, number of boxes for our guests. And a source of thematic card. Cover card box. Lucky our guests, depending on these boxes, and luncheon that they dispense. Participant, then whatever number of jets they take to perceive quality of the box. They then decide to build their deck list. Light bidding, elf bidding, all of the content as they are probably the highest one content, and that is the storage boards. This episode, I decided to put in on the storage boards. It's a box of just in this you open it, garage open it, it's just cobwebs and plastic. Power level of this pretty freaking terrible. There's
That's exactly what I need, because I'm also pretty freaking terrible, so I need my deck to suck.
worst cards that I can really think of that are somewhat it's gonna be a rough one. No. We've got 14. That's a lot of boxes. That's a lot of boxes.
Wait, can I make a prediction? There will be Celtic Guardian. There will be a Celtic Guardian. And whatever box has Celtic Guardian, that's true.
Mystery box is the other ones you're all in at the end. So ignore those for now. Spend your budget. Add your budget. 10,000 smackerinoes, $80. Whatever you want to call it. Box is about cards, mixed with monster spells, traps. Probably it's an uneven number, someone will get more. That's okay. That's how to block cards accordingly based off the cover cards. The green boxes have a cover card. I'll let you bid on them accordingly. The red boxes, they are going to be exposed to like actually heavy. I'm going to recommend that we begin first and foremost with the green box. Let's take
Question. I have a question.
a question.
So the yellow box is the one, and we don't have to bid on those, because last time I was on this show, you were like, there's these 4 boxes, you can ignore them, we'll get to them later, and I assumed I would have to pay for them, and then I got there, and I had no more money, and then I had to pay them.
No, that's not. No,
other boxes.
let's do a little.
That's exactly what happened, I got scammed.
Editor, go back with that. Basically, what happened we did was first we had gems left first. That's all.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible that you said that, and I just. So okay, I will ask again, just because I'm stupid. Do I have to pay for the yellow boxes? Yes or no?
No, you do not have to spend any general yellow boxes. Go all in.
Okay, that's whatever.
Alright, let's take this player on this head start here. Luke, why don't you start off with and like politely suggest one of the green boxes.
It's funny because you say Luke, and I'm sure Lucas and Danny have no idea who you're talking to.
You refer to me as Danny, so like I assume
There are two Lukes. There are two Lukes in here.
you can call me Danny.
Okay, the problem is that he's got his name down as Luke on this one.
You want to just take phone screens, that's fine.
So we got six round the way this thing
I'm still learning.
What is that?
I know what that is. That's
The other one,
Warrior Lady.
to really hammer in how jank this week is. Pretty much all of it. My mind is concerned.
shout out to the Scrumbling.
All I no.
With the episode.
We're not talking like mods or admins or a team of Farfa background content.
Oh, are you saying these were made by Samuolo?
It's just people in general. That's
Oh no!
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry to believe.
You're here to take
Okay. Do we the way you at every
You're gonna need a map that shows the guts of this.
No, it's just every episode of Storage Wars. I'll occasionally shout out and be like, oh, by the way, if you want to suggest any boxes, join the Discord. So these could be YouTube viewers for all we know.
You can grab the info from the guided.
I know he's
Bid among yourselves. 10,000 is your budget. There is 14 total. Do the math. Like to step up for. Let's begin with 1,000. Do I have 1,000 from anyone?
Oh no, I was gonna bid 0. You know what? The Warrior Lady of the Wasteland.
Turn
certified
soft the
baddie.
thingy.
I will go ahead and put 500.
Yeah.
I said 1,000, but sure, we'll go with 500.
You know what? No, he's correct. You sold me on it. I will put 1,000 on this. Yeah.
11.
11 what? 1,100. What do you? Oh, 1,100.
Danny,